You talk every day. You see each other regularly. You feel connected, but somehow you can't define what this is. There are no labels, no real commitment, and every time you bring it up, the conversation goes nowhere. Sound familiar? You might not be in a relationship. You might be in a situationship. And today I'm going to help you figure out exactly which one you're in and what to do about it. Welcome back. This is one of the most requested topics I get asked about, and honestly, one of the most painful to be in, without even realizing it. Let's break it down clearly. Sign number 1. You've never had a real conversation about what you are. In a real relationship, at some point, even awkwardly, there's a conversation. A moment where both people acknowledge what's happening. In a situationship, that conversation is always being avoided. One person changes the subject, the other person doesn't push. And weeks turn into months with no clarity. If you genuinely don't know where you stand, that's already your answer. Sign number 2. You only exist in private. You spend time together, but it's almost always behind closed doors. You're not meeting friends. You're not going on proper dates. You're not showing up in each other's lives publicly. In a real relationship, both people are proud to be seen together. In a situationship, one person, usually the one with less invested, keeps things contained, private, compartmentalized. Sign number 3. The connection is intense but inconsistent. This is one of the most confusing parts of a situationship. When you're together, it feels real, deep, connected, almost like a relationship. But then they disappear for days, go cold, become hard to reach. Then they come back and it's warm again. This hot and cold cycle is addictive in a chemical way. Your brain starts to crave the highs because the lows are so disorienting. It's not passion, it's anxiety. Sign number 4. You're always waiting on them, and they know it. Your plans depend on their availability. You don't make other arrangements because you're hoping they'll reach out. You check your phone more than you'd like to admit. In a healthy relationship, both people are reliable and consistent. In a situationship, one person holds the power, and the other person is always in a state of low-level waiting. If that's you, sit with that for a second. Sign number 5. You feel like you can't ask for what you actually want. Real relationships have room for both people's needs. But in a situationship, bringing up commitment, exclusivity, or even just asking where things are going feels risky. Like you might scare them off. Like you're being too much. The fact that your basic needs feel like too much to ask is not a you problem. It's a compatibility problem. Sign number 6. They've told you directly or indirectly that they're not ready. Maybe they said they're not looking for anything serious. Maybe they brought up their past trauma. Maybe they gave you a very long explanation for why commitment isn't possible right now. People often tell us the truth early on. The problem is, we hear it and think we can be the exception. Almost no one is the exception. So what do you do if you're in a situationship? First, get clear on what you actually want. Not what you're willing to settle for. What you actually want. Then have the conversation, directly. Not a hint, not a vibe, an actual conversation. If the answer isn't what you need, that's information. It's painful information, but it's the most valuable kind because it frees you to invest your energy somewhere that deserves it. Comment below. Are you in a situationship right now, or have you been in one? I read every comment, and your story might help someone else watching this. Subscribe if this resonated, and I'll see you in the next one.